What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, yes, Barcelona, they did beat Bayern Munich 4-1 yesterday. But guys, the games never stop. Real Madrid, Santiago Bernabeu, book it Saturday. For me, at least. Real Madrid, Barcelona, El Clasico. It's going to be this weekend, and we have to win. And we're going to be previewing this game. Are we going to go further ahead and extend our lead at the top of the table, or is it going to be a title race that's going to be neck and neck the whole way through? And guys, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't. Road to 500 subs. We're getting closer there, and let's get into this video. So the first thing I want to say is, yes, we had a tough week, but what a way to start, 5-1 against Sevilla, some awesome football. 4-1 against Bayern Munich, even better. Nobody expected that. Let's be honest, 4-1. I expected probably a 2-1 game, maybe a 3-2 Barcelona. I did know that Bayern Munich had them defensive issues, but guys, to be honest, 4-1 is just different. And guys, we have to move on because, this El Clasico is huge. I feel like it's probably the most anticipated El Clasico since the Messi Ronaldo era because Barcelona look real. We look like a real superpower potentially if things go well and not too many injuries. And Real Madrid, they're forming the Avengers, the Galacticos Part 2, that's what they're calling it, with Vinny, Bellingham, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Valverde, all these guys. And guys, I feel like it's going to be such a great game. To be honest, I feel like this is probably the best game this season, post Euros. Let's be honest, it's so anticipated. And HANSI Flick, his first Classico, Ancelotti's been here before. Let's see how HANSI Flick rises to the occasion. El Clasico is a huge game. I know he's been in that Dortmund versus Bayern. I think it's called Der Klassiker. But guys, this is different. El Clasico is different. Bayern are usually better than Dortmund. Barcelona, Real Madrid, the all-time record is like neck and neck. And guys, hopefully we win on the weekend. And the next thing I want to say is that our attackers, they have to show up. They did it against Sevilla. They did it against Bayern Munich. To be fair, though, those defenses are not as good as Real Madrid's. Real Madrid, they're rigid. They're probably going to sit back. And we need to see some real quality. So RAPHINHA, he was great against Bayern, but Real Madrid, they're probably going to have less space. Apparently, Militao is going to be the fullback on the day guarding him and not Vasquez. And to be honest, that's a smart choice. But I think that the quality of Lamine Yamal especially has to come through in the tight games. Pedri, Olmo, these are the guys, the magicians. They're going to pull the strings when it really matters. So RAPHINHA, his job is to take his chance once he gets it, like he did against Bayern Munich, and just keep on going. Hustle, do what you do, RAPHINHA. And RAPHINHA is going to give it. He's our captain. He's going to give it all his all. And hopefully RAPHINHA can bag his first goal against Real Madrid in official games because he has one against in a friendly. But guys, I hope RAPHINHA scores, to be honest, because he honestly deserves it. And the next thing I want to say is that Dani Olmo, I think personally should start. I know Fermin Lopez played well against Bayern Munich. I know that he's awesome. The Euros, he didn't play much, but in the Olympics, he was the star of the Olympics. He had that R9 type run. But I think that Fermin Lopez, he does so good when there's space. And off the bench, I feel like when the game opens up, Fermin Lopez will feast. I think he will, or at least he'll play better. But from the jump, that Real Madrid, they're going to sit back. They're going to try to be pragmatic. That. They just seen us, slap Bayern Munich. Let's be honest. Dani Olmo, he's the master of these half spaces, these tight areas, just maneuvering the ball. I think Dani Olmo is the guy to start, and he hasn't started a game in a while. I think it's his time now. Dani Olmo, we bought him for a reason. And the next thing I want to say is that Robert Lewandowski, get your goal. He hasn't had a vintage El Clasico. He has scored in a couple, but Robert Lewandowski, can you make a name for yourself? I know you scored against your former team. HANSI Flick beat his former team. That was nice to see. And he didn't celebrate, by the way, guys. Robert Lewandowski decided not to celebrate. Probably a smart move for his, later relationship with Bayern Munich. But Robert Lewandowski, let's see what you got against Real Madrid. I think a brace. I really do. I think that we're going to win 4-2. I think our attackers will show up, but guys, they have to back it up. I think they can. Let's see if they do. And honestly, the next thing I want to say is that if these three guys are on it and we do score goals, our defense and midfield have to hold up. Because these attackers right now, we have the best front three in Europe. And it's not even a bias thing. It's a factual thing. Look at the stats. It's so far away that it's not even close. So RAPHINHA, Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewandowski, just be clinical, have that spark of creativity when it matters most, and be composed. Take your chances. And guys, we move. The next thing I want to say is make a name for yourself. The other players included, not just the attackers. Pedri, Casado, These two guys will most likely start. Let's be honest, unless there's some freak injury. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But Pedri, Casado, make a name for yourself. Iniesta was huge in El Clasicos. Xavi Hernandez was amazing in El Clasicos. And you don't have to be the star players to absolutely steal the show. And Ronaldo and Messi, these guys, they stole it by the scruff of the neck, but you guys can too. That's all I'm gonna say. And the next thing I want to say is that Mbappe, Vinny are different from Muller and Kane. Because Muller and Kane, let's be honest, they have quality, but they don't have the pace. And that's why I'm saying Hansi Flick, lower that back line. We don't need that high line all the way up. Against Bayern Munich, it looked like a basketball game at times. And I think that that plays into Real Madrid's hands. I'm not saying get rid of it completely, but I'm saying drop it like 5 to 10 yards at least so Kabarsi and Inigo can compete with these guys because Rodrigo's not going to be there. But guys, let's be completely honest. Real Madrid, they have the personnel to actually counter, and they got Vinicius, they got Mbappe. Bayern Munich, they got Muller and Kane. Quality players, but no speed on that counterattack to threaten Barcelona. And that back line, I think that we got to drop it. Inigo Martinez, Kabarsi, these guys have been playing well. I think that they'll defend crosses. I think that they're passing. Their distribution will be good. But I think that counterattack is just what threatens Barcelona the most, to be honest. And I think that Hansi Flick, this is the first big decision that he's got to make, also with the Fermin Olmo. So those two decisions I feel like are crucial to winning El Clasico. Because, guys, we have some options off the bench. I want to see how Flick utilizes his substitutions. Gavi and Frankie de Jong, they're ramping up. They're getting more minutes under their belt. Play them, play them if we have to. If we're up by one, I want to see Gavi see out a game, add some steel to the defense. And if we're up by 2-3, I want to see Frankie de Jong just keep possession and play keep ball to, just mess with Real Madrid a little bit, have them chasing. And I already said, Fermin Lopez, I think off the bench, that'll be huge. But guys, the game, El Clasico, get the result. The result is all that matters. These games come few and far between where I only care about the result over the performance completely. And it's because El Clasico is such a huge match day. And I feel like that it's going to be a huge decider, to winning trophies ultimately. It doesn't completely decide everything, but I think that if we win El Clasico on the weekend, I think that we will win La Liga. I can't say it's a foregone conclusion because there's so many games left and there's also the chance of injuries, but I think that I trust in the squad. Hansi Flick's doing his work on the squad, and I think that we can get the job done. And this was our last game on October. After this, we have Espanyol, which you can't see on the screen, but we have Espanyol after another derby, but it's not to the magnitude of Real Madrid. Hopefully we win El Clasico. But guys, that's really it for me today. Hopefully we play some good football. Maybe we beat Real Madrid. And lastly, I'm going to give my prediction. My prediction is going to be a 4-2 to Barcelona. I think that we're going to give Real Madrid that work, and I think it's going to be a vintage El Clasico that we remember, And that's it for me today. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't. Road to 500 subs, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.